As the film begins, we see a man who is asking about a child going somewhere. He asks a standing man there, "Have that kid reached here?" He replies, "Yes." Then that man says to him, "That kid is not safe here, because a devil is also pursuing him. There is only a place where devil cannot capture him, and that is an ancient fort. And no one can take him there securely besides Ghost Rider." But the second man says, "No. Look, it will not happen as such. Some people attack there when they are conversing. They were same people who wanted to capture this kid." That man is confused who had come here to bring this kid. He moves there where the kid was present. Going there, he also finds the kid's mother. Being frightened, both were not believing anyone. So that mother raises her gun at that man. She asks him to leave this place and let us go. In the same way, she escapes from there, taking a car. But that man also goes after her. But there were also capturers after them who had come to take this kid. As that man motorbike is in front of the capturers, those capturers start firing at him. Losing his control of motorbike, he begins to fall from the mountain. While falling down, he shoots his gun at them. Consequently, they also face a car accident. And they stop there. Fortunately, that man was saved because of hanging in a tree after falling from the mountain. Then it is shown that mother and kid drive ahead securely. Then the survivor man comes on the scene. Now he goes to a deserted place. There was an ancient and lonely-looking house. He notices going inside, there is Johnny, who was the main character Ghost Rider of the Part 1. He'd been residing here for a long time, many miles away from his home. He hadn't used his Ghost Rider abilities in 8 years. That man says, going to him, "I want to say something to you." Saying it, he shows him the photo of that kid. He says, "You will have to save him. I will award you what you want in return." Ghost Rider says surprisingly, "What will I want?" He says to him, "You want to get free from this curse. Be a ghost ride only for this night. Remember, you will get freed from it forever. Or will never be a ghost rider again. As you want it." Johnny happily agrees because he was exhausted now. Turning himself into Ghost Rider, he goes for the search of that kid as the night falls. Then a boy is shown who was seized by a man named Carrigan. And he was abiding by the devil. But he was unaware as it is a devil in reality. Because he was going to receive a big heavy reward later from that devil. At the same time, Ghost Rider also reaches there. Reaching there, he begins to beat everyone with his chain. And he directly goes to that kid. But Carrigan and his men attack him. Then he goes away, taking that kid. Next scene takes place in the hospital, where Ghost Rider wakes up. There is also the mother of that kid. Looking at her, that woman begins to run from there. And Ghost Rider also goes after her. That woman says furiously while pointing her gun on him, "I neither need your any type of help nor I trust you. It is better to leave from here."
Johnny says, putting the gun on his forehead, "Okay, kill me if you don't trust me.
It will be better for me to die." Witnessing the courage in his eyes, that woman stops and removes her gun. She says to him, "You had searched out my son yesterday. Will you also search him today?" Johnny tells, "Yes. I was sensing him yesterday so had searched him. But I am not sensing him today." That woman is afraid, "Is there something wrong with my son?" Johnny says, "No. Don't worry, he is alive but I am unable to sense him." On the other side, Devil is shown who was communicating with Carrigan through a call. Carrigan says to him, "I was unaware that my competitor will be the Ghost Rider and create the number of troubles. So you will pay me double for this task." Devil asks him to bring the kid in contact with him. As he places receiver on kid's ear, the voice of Devil is not heard. But that kid loses his consciousness after screaming loudly. Devil tells on the request of Carrigan, "Whatever has been said but he cannot search out kid. Take care yourself because he can sense you. And he will surely come to search for you." It was the cause that Ghost Rider was not sensing this kid. Ghost Rider finds Carrigan on the way as he leaves with his men and that kid. There is a great fight between them. On the other side, that kid's mother comes. Then she leaves, taking her son. Ghost Rider ends everyone and comes to that lady. And he says, "There is no difference among Corrigan, you and me. I kill all who have wronged. So keep yourself away until I am Ghost Rider. Otherwise, I will kill you too." Then he catches her. Then that kid says, "Let my mother go." He lets his mother go on his kid's request and moves to him. But he feels awkward before heading. And it is shown that he has transformed into Johnny. Next day, that mother asks Johnny when the three of them are seated, "What will we do now?" Then Johnny says to her that we will go to such a safe place, where this kid may survive securely. They still want to capture us. So we will have to be careful. And Johnny tells that man who had come to secure the kid for the first time, he will accompany us from tomorrow. Then it is shown that three of them leave that place. And that man accompanies them on the way. Then the devil is shown who appears at that place where Ghost Rider had ended the assaultive men of Kid. Devil notices everyone dead. And Carrigan is also dying under a rock. He asks going towards him, "What is the output of my assigned task?" Carrigan says, "How selfish you are. Do you not see that I am dying?" Devil says to him, "You will have to accomplish my assigned task even at your deathbed. I award you with many powers." Saying it, it places its hand on his body. At the first sight, Carrigan is changed to an extent. Now he had also taken a devilish look, he had attained multi-powers. Afterwards, he leaves in search of that kid. Now it is shown that Kid's mother had attempted to commit suicide while jumping off a building a few years ago. And she was dying. At the same time, Devil had come to her. It had said, "I will rescue you. But you will have to give me something in return." And the devil had rescued her while demanding her expected baby. And the devil will perform a ritual as the kid reaches his age of 13. He will move all of his power into that kid in that ritual. And he will also become a devil with him. On the other side, that mother, Johnny, Kid and that man are shown. They were proceeding to the secure place where that kid will remain in safety. Then it is appeared that while going, a mutual understanding is developed between Johnny and that kid. They are befriended. At the beginning, Johnny was doing all to get rid from that curse. But it is clear here that he has started caring of that kid now. Now that location also appears which pleases Johnny. The inhabitants of that place were looking odd. Then Johnny and the first rescuer of Kid are talking with each other. Johnny asks him, "Which giant has the domination over me? Which devil's powers are in my body?" That man tells him as being a priest, he was an angel whose task was to do justice. He was assigned a duty to punish the sinners after sending him into the hell. And he turned into the Ghost Rider. And he has possessed your body. Then it is shown that Johnny is taken to a location where the Ghost Rider has been derived from his body. Now he had turned into a normal being. And he was excited. Coming outside, he notices that man who had been captured by someone. They were the same people to whom they had taken that kid. But they say, "We will have to sacrifice this kid. Because he possesses devilish powers. And this kid is hazard for all of us." That man says to those men, "Don't worry. He cannot harm us today. The fear is of tomorrow when he will reach the age of 13. We will have to be careful tomorrow. Passing tomorrow, the future will take a turn. Then there will be no more problems." They, however, disagree with him. They say, "There is a problem for us until he survives." Saying it, they take him outside. Carrigan approaches there as they are going to cut his throat. Having many powers, he burns everyone to death. He brings that kid to Devil, lifting him up. Then that Devil and Kid are shown. Devil is talking with him lovingly. "Let's see. How older I am grown. Frailty has become the part of my body. Look at yourself. How clever you are. You have the human powers at one side and the devilish powers on the other side. Because your mother is human and you are the son of mine." Then he says, "As being aged, how can I bear these powers? But your body will be strengthened, taking these powers." He was saying so because he was wanting to be stronger while transferring his soul and powers into him. Afterwards, He brings that child at that place after injecting the kid. Where all this happening was going to occur. All start performing the ritual there. And the magical awkward words are spoken before that kid. That child was about to be enchanted to some extent. He was coming under their control. He also begins to utter the same words. Meanwhile, Johnny, kid's mother and that man also approach there. Both Johnny and that man move inside the fort. While that mother is firing her gun on those who are blocking her way. That man says to Johnny, "Go and save that kid. I will be responsible for the rest of things." Johnny goes to save that kid. But he observes, this ritual is going to be performed completely. He hits the devil with his fist, running fastly. That devil falls down as being aged. He runs to the kid and says, "Come with me hurriedly." But that kid was involved in them, so does not respond. Then it is shown that Johnny's hand itself began to twist. And the devil strikes a blow to him, raising from the backside. And he falls away. Then that man comes on the scene who was with Johnny. He was fighting with all of them. At the same time, Carrigan also arrives, who was devil now. Regretfully, he kills that man. After that, he moves to Johnny. But Johnny quickly says to that kid, "Oh son. It is not your reality. Understand it, you are a human being. Control yourself." But that kid says to the devil going to him, "You have called me your son. I will be the same son as you wish." Coming to Johnny, he begins to throw the fire on his face from his mouth. In the same way, his powers of Ghost Rider begin to restore. Here Johnny had completely transformed into the Ghost Rider. But Devil and Carrigan leave that place, taking that kid. There are a number of the people with them. Pursuing them, Ghost Rider starts to kill all of them. Hitting Carrigan violently, he starts chasing the devil. Ghost Rider sticks his chain in that car in which the devil was carrying that kid. He pulls it forcefully. As a result, their car turns upside down. Devil gradually begins to come outside from that car. And Ghost Rider also comes beside him. Fastening with his chain, Ghost Rider bounces it in the air and smashes on the ground. Afterwards, he starts thrusting into the ground. At last, the devil is dead here and damned into hell. In this way, that kid's mother comes to her kid while running. But she observes the Ghost Rider is there. She is frightened to be killed by him. But Ghost Rider hands over the kid, taking him out from the car. He also turns into a normal being, Johnny, along with it. And his hand begins emitting the blue fire that was red fire before it. He says to her, "I am feeling positive energy in me." That kid comes into his senses as he places his hand on that kid's mouth. That kid asks Ghost Rider, "Had we won?" Then Ghost Rider says, "Yes son, we have won." Afterwards, Johnny is shown who rides on his bike. There was the blue fire instead of the red fire where his bike was passing. It means Johnny has restored his genuine powers. Now he will shield the human beings as before. He will not only save people during the day, but also at night. Along with it, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then please like, share the video, and subscribe the channel for more interesting videos.